here we're doing some groundwork just to start off. It's been a little bit since we've been worked. You guys will want to stay till the middle and the end because he gets very excited in some new areas, and I don't know, I think it's pretty funny to watch. So here I'm just desensitizing him with the rope, and I'm gonna flex him. I don't like to just go out, put a halter on him, and start lunging him right away really hard. Just not a fan of that. So fling the rope and desensitize him. Did pretty good for not being worked in a couple weeks. I think it's been about 2 weeks. He's had a couple of short sessions here and there, but that's about it. And I'm going to cut a lot of this out. A lot of it is the same thing, and it's about like a 30-minute video, and I don't think you guys want to watch that. So here I'm asking him to come forward and then back up, just seeing if he's paying attention. And I'm going to send him over the tire right here. There he stopped, so I just kept pushing him forward. There he stepped on the tire and he jumped, so I just ignore it and send him back through. Let him smell it if he wants to smell it. Today, the ground's really slick in the round pen to ride, and it's supposed to snow and rain tonight and tomorrow, so yeah. This is my way of kind of getting him back into the work, because it's been nasty weather, we haven't done anything. When I bid a horse up, I know it builds their top line, but I don't crank their face down to where they're forced to bid up. I take 2 pairs of 1 reins or single reins, and I wrap them around the loops and double clip it to the bit where it's loose enough that he can give if he wants, but it's not going to force him down into it. He hasn't been worked with in a while, so they're loose. They're not so tight that if he doesn't lower his head that it's going to yank and force him down. But they're loose enough that if he wants to lower his head, it's going to help him build muscle in his back. Remember, I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. So any suggestions, any tips, I'll definitely take. So here we're just doing some walking. And we don't do much of this, so I probably won't show a whole lot. We just walk a couple laps and trot a couple laps. And then I put them into a different type of, I don't know if you'd call it collection or not, but I just loop the reins through, and I'll explain that when I get to that part. So this is just working them a little bit. This is exactly why I don't go jump on a green horse either. You'll see later on in the video why. The way that I use the stir single, I'll take 1 rein, run it through the rings, 1 on each side, and just have it go over like you would if you were riding with 1 rein. And there's some tension, but it's not a ton of tension. It's not cranked to force him down. So here I'm just lunging him over the tires, giving him something to focus on, and I ask him to change direction here, and he gets very excited. I ignore it and just continue to work on. Now in a little bit you'll see me correct him for it, and I'll explain when I get there why I correct him. Okay, I'm gonna leave him in the stir single in the 1 rein, and we're just gonna walk down and get the mail and see how he does. I don't know, this is just kind of what we're doing today. Just some random stuff because the ground's all muddy. This is also preparing him for when we get back into work. I don't want to just go out there, grab him, work the hell out of him, and get on him one day randomly. So when I know the weather's going to get better in a couple of days, I'll start working them again. So it's not just me grabbing them and then lunging the hell out of them, making them sweat and work hard. There's nothing wrong with that with a horse that's in shape. But, you know, he's not in shape. He's got a lot of muscle to build. So you see, he's given to the reins, but they're not extremely tight where they're forcing him to. This is just telling him, okay, you want to lower your head, that's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. People use the, he sees a turkey. People use the, again, I'm not a professional trainer. Wouldn't even consider myself a trainer. I'm able to train horses, but People use the piece that goes between their legs and connects to their nose and force them down, and I'm not really a fan of forcing a horse. He hates trains. That's the other reason I decided to come out right now. So he's got a lot of things to focus on right now. He's got the bit, he's got the reins, he's got the cinch, and there's 2 trains, and there's turkeys. So, I don't know. Just going down to get the mail. He's gonna be right next to mailboxes, train tracks. So see how he's giving on his own? Those reins are really, really loose. He does not have to give to it right now, but he's deciding to, which is great. So I want to explain what I'm doing here. I decided to take him down to our in pasture. This is the back of the barn where you guys see me work with him on the medicine chute in the stalls. So I'm going to be working on quite a few things, and I'll shorten it down because it's quite a long video on this side. So the first thing I'm going to do is just see if he's paying attention in a new area. I want to see how he reacts in a new area. He hasn't been down here in a while, so I'm just going to back a little, and I want him to work on his turns. He kind of has a habit of right there, he kind of turns into me. So right here, he steps back and then turns, but he's still kind of pushing on me. That's okay, we'll get there eventually. I just want him to turn more like stepping back rather than stepping into me. So we work on it for a little bit. And he's doing really good. He's not necessarily being bad. He's not paying attention to everything around him. He's not dragging. So we work on this for a little bit. What we're doing here is backing up straight. So you'll see every time he brings his butt out off that fence, I will just kind of swing the rope at his butt. And if I need to, I'll pop him. So I don't recommend standing in front of them when you're doing this, because as you've seen right there, when I popped his butt over, he went forward. So they can go on top of you. So this is what we're doing here. He's doing fairly well. You can see this side, he's a little slower. I honestly don't care the pace as long as he is trying, which he is. So here we're just working on trotting in a tight space for a few different reasons. He's kind of heavy on the halter, sometimes, not all the time. So this kind of helps because there's a fence and a barn on one on each side, and then there's 2 open sides where he can drag out. So right there when he goes to play, I just kind of pick up on the rope and pop that halter. And if he needs to, I'll back him up. And that just tells him, look, it's time to focus, not time to play. And you'll see why here in a second, why I correct him. He gets a little too playful and too tight of an area. So just the head tossing and stuff, I'm just going to pop the halter and then send him out again. But right there is really dangerous in that tight of a spot. So I just back him up quite a bit and send him out again. When he's quiet, then we'll go on to something else. I don't care what pace he's going, but I want him quiet. So again, we moved to a different part of the pasture, and he's wanting to canter, so I'm trying to push him into it, and he just gets playful. So we will go into a wider section in here in a second. And I'm kind of setting him up to fail for the buck. So there's a post there, there's fence. He really has to pay attention to where he's going, so he's not able to buck and play as much. But he still gets quite a few bucks in. Here I'm asking him to canter. He can canter in that tight of a spot. It's actually bigger than it looks. You'll see him get really playful here in a second. He just really wants to play. So he was in a mood today. So there I just said, you want to buck? We're going to work harder. So here we go into a wider part of the pasture. And he doesn't have to pay attention as much out here where he's going, but you can see he's really just wanting to play. That's okay with me. I just want him to know if I correct him, he needs to quit. Because in, like earlier in that tight of a spot, I don't really want that. I mean, I get it, he's fresh, but I'm not like abusing him, beating him, or anything like that when he plays. It's just a couple of pops on the halter and making him back up to make him pay attention. We're running him into the fence and making him figure out, look, I really need to focus where I'm going. So here I'm just untacking him and turning him loose, and I love how different he is with his head when I take off the bridle. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Boog's very playful. I'll see you guys in my next video. If you want me to react to your video, please leave a link to the video you want me to react to down in the comments below. I'm gonna get this big boy fed and get inside. Bye guys.